Hey guys, in today's video, I'm going to be testing a condenser microphone from NearStream. This was sent to me for free for review, and if you would like to pick it up and support my channel, you can find a link down below. And I'm going to be comparing this to the microphone that I normally use, my Sound microphone, in this video, and I'll be demonstrating some of its features for you, so stay tuned for that. All right, let's go ahead and unbox this. It comes in a pretty nice box. A warranty card, user manual, and our main microphone. Our USB-C connector cable. So we've got USB-C one end and USB-A the other. Microphone's got a pretty nice weight to it. You can see we've got the pop filter here on the front. So you can remove this. I find the pop filters don't normally make a huge difference. So the tilt is adjustable. We've got some knobs here. One of these should be the gain control for the input, so how loud it actually records your voice. And then I'm guessing the one down here is if you plug directly in with some headphones, you should be able to listen to yourself back, and I'm guessing that's going to be the volume. And then we've got our USB-C connection point underneath. It has quite a decent finish to it. Feels like metal has been used on the outside. The stand has like a really nice weight to it as well. All right, let's go ahead and test this out. Let's look at the front of the controls on the microphone. So I'm going to take off this pop filter. I'm not a huge fan of how this thing attaches. It's a little bit funky. Be nicer if it had, I don't know, some kind of like clip-on system. It's just these metal bars that bend, and there's these little rubber feet that protect it. So we've got our LED on the front here. I believe this is a touch control. And of course we've got our RGB lighting at the top, and we've got our two knobs down here to adjust the gain, and the other one I'm assuming is the volume for the feedback when you're listening to yourself. So let's try and mess with the touch button. So if we do a short press, I think it's going to change the lighting. Okay, seems like we got 3 different modes there, and we can turn the lighting off, which is nice. When this light on the touch button here is blue, that means the noise reduction's on. If we double tap it, it will go to green, and that means noise reduction is off. They do kind of call this AI noise reduction in some of their descriptions, but we'll test that in a minute as well. And then we can also mute the microphone. So if we hold this for a second, it goes red, which means it's muted. And we hold it for a second again, and it goes to green, or this should be the previous noise reduction mode it's in. So as long as it's not on red, it's not muted. We've got our gain control here for the microphone. So this simply just means how loud the microphone is going to be when you talk into it, and that gets processed through your computer. So if we were to turn this like really low and talk into the microphone, say you was doing this directly into a video editor, the waveforms are going to be really small, so it's going to be really quiet. And then the bottom knob here is the headphone monitoring control, which is going to control the volume of the monitoring when you plug in underneath with like a pair of headphones or something like that. All right, let's take a look at the software that's used with this microphone. So it's called NearSync. You can download it from NearStream's official website. So you got a Mac and Windows option. Let's go ahead and download this and we'll get it installed. All right, it does say to install the software first before you connect the microphone. So now I'm going to go ahead and connect the microphone. Let's see what happens. All right, microphone's connected. It's showing up in another language. That is not a good start. English. Let's see if that's changed it. That's weird that it shows up in another language. Okay, let's go ahead and press update and see what happens. All right, so the update's finished, but it still is giving me an option to update here. So the kind of feedback loop for this update system is not very good. And we have this text, which is not even shown in English. So NearStream, if you're watching, initially this program looked promising, but it definitely needs some refinement here. This update section is pretty strange. It doesn't seem like there's any options I can adjust in here for the microphone. This is the change. I'll go over here. So I guess any adjustments we're going to do is just going to be on the actual microphone controls on the front of it, which of course I will show you. But yeah, promising start with the program. It looked very clean, but it's just a shame this update section is a little bit funky. All right, let's move on. Okay, for this part of the video, so I can give you a nice comparison, I've got the NearStream microphone here, and I've got a much cheaper ZealSound microphone that I want to compare it to, and this will give you a good idea if when you pay more for one of these slightly more unknown microphones, if you are going to get better audio quality. So currently right now I'm using my screen recording software and it's using my ZealSound microphone. So that's where you're getting the audio from at the moment for my voice. Let's go over to DaVinci Resolve and I want to record from both microphones and listen to them back so I can give you kind of my real-time reaction to these. So let's go ahead and record here. And I want to make sure I've got it set to the ZealSound microphone first. So I need to turn off the 3-second countdown. So let's do a quick demonstration of the ZealSound microphone and listen to it back and see how it sounds. So I'm going to listen to this back. So before we do that, I just want to show you something that I remembered. So one thing that's a bit annoying about NearStream's microphone is for some reason it seems to come up as a pair of headphones as well, which is a little bit annoying because you plug it in and your computer starts trying to output audio to it. So like my headphones just turn off and then I have to go into the sound settings and switch it back to it. It's a minor inconvenience, but a little bit annoying. Anyway, let's listen back to the ZealSound recording. So let's do a quick demonstration of the ZealSound microphone and listen to it back and see how it sounds. Okay, so that's not too bad. I did a full review of the ZealSound microphone. You can check that out. I'll put a card at the top of the video. If you're looking for a really budget-friendly microphone that even comes with a boom arm as well. So let's now switch over to the NearStream microphone and we'll do a test of that now. Okay, we're now using the NearStream microphone and we're going to do a audio comparison between this and the ZealSound. Okay, we're now using the NearStream microphone and we're going to do a audio comparison between this and the ZealSound. Okay, so that to me they sounded quite similar. I want to boost the audio on these a bit so I can hopefully pick up any like distortion. And I do have, just so you know, I do have the gain control on the NearStream microphone maxed out. So let's listen to these back with the audio a little bit boosted. So let's do a quick demonstration of the ZealSound microphone and listen to it back and see how it sounds. Okay, we're now using the NearStream microphone and we're going to do a audio comparison between this and the ZealSound. All right, let me turn up my volume really high. Let's do a quick demonstration of the ZealSound microphone and listen to it back and see how it sounds. Okay, we're now using the NearStream microphone and we're going to do a audio comparison between the ZealSound microphone and NearStream microphone and we're going to do a audio, the Zill Sound microphone, and listen to it back NearStream microphone, and we're going to do a... Okay, so from my point of view, I feel like they sound very similar. Now, if you're a bit of an audiophile or you're wearing like some really good headphones right now, these ones I've got on are pretty decent, but they're not like studio quality headphones or anything like that. You might be able to tell a big difference, but to me, they sound pretty similar. I think the NearStream has like a very slightly more bassy edge to it, and it makes my voice sound a little bit deeper. Let's listen to it. In fact, let's delete both of these and do another recording again. I want to try and move the NearStream microphone a little bit closer to my mouth as well to see if that makes much of a difference. So we're going to switch back to the Zill Sound microphone. This is the second test we are doing for the Zill Sound microphone. And let's switch back to the NearStream. I'm going to move it closer this time. This is the second test we are doing for the NearStream microphone. So let's listen to these back. This is the second test we are doing for the Zill Sound microphone. This is the second test we are doing for the NearStream microphone. Okay, yeah, this one has really got me stumped here. I was expecting to notice like a really big difference between these microphones, but I personally don't hear it. But let me know if those of you watching this video, if you've got like a really giga chad pair of headphones on right now, do you hear a huge difference? So now we've done that, let's do a comparison between the noise reduction mode off and on. So it's been off this whole time. And what I'll do is I'll do a test with it on to see if it removes any of that kind of background noise that I can hear. You might be able to pick it up. It's just like some very slight hissing. And then I'll also play some audio in the background and then put on the noise reduction to see if it makes a difference. So let's do the first test now. All right, so we've got it selected. This is a audio test on the NearStream with noise reduction off. So it's now blue, so that means it's turned on. This is a audio test with NearStream's microphone with noise reduction on. I find it also a bit strange that I've got the volume gain control maxed out, but the audio is really not coming through that loud. And I mean, this is really close enough for a microphone to work at like the correct audio. I shouldn't have to be like right down here on the microphone. This is a stand microphone, so you know, if you're gaming or something, you're not going to have this like next to your face. This should be kind of like an adequate distance. So I'm a bit surprised, even with the maxed out gain control, it's not really picking up the volume a little bit louder. And I'm just going to go ahead and normalize these and see if it actually makes much of a difference. So the second one, it's done it a bit more. Let's listen to these back. This is a audio test on the NearStream with noise reduction off. This is a audio test with NearStream's microphone with noise reduction on. Okay, so that's quite impressive. That's a really big difference. So this sounds similar to, I'm using DaVinci Resolve Studio, and with pretty much every microphone I've tested on this channel, and I've had a bunch of previous ones that I haven't made reviews on, you'll always hear like that background hissing noise, and I remove that post-production in DaVinci Resolve using their AI voice isolation. You can see me highlighting with my mouse up here. In fact, I'll do a demonstration so you can see that this is working really well. So if we click on the first clip here and play it back, listen closely and you'll hear like a bunch of kind of hissing and noise distortion in the background. This is a audio test on the NearStream with noise reduction off. Now this is not exclusive to this NearStream microphone. Like I say, every microphone I've tested has had this issue. Now I've never tested like a really expensive microphone. Just to preface that. So if we turn on the AI voice isolation and play this back, you should see it's removed it completely. This is a audio test on the NearStream with noise reduction off. So that's pretty cool. Now let's play the second one where I had the noise reduction turned on the microphone. This is a audio test with NearStream's microphone with noise reduction on. That's impressive because for me to have this AI voice removal in DaVinci Resolve Studio, I had to pay for that. It's not a free feature. You don't get it in the free version. So the fact that this microphone is able to essentially do the same thing in this test we've done here, that's pretty impressive. And that's definitely a worthwhile feature. And I think it makes this more worth it than the Zilsound microphone I have, which can't do that. But let's step this up a little bit. Let's play some like background noise from like my phone or something, and then we'll do a test. So I'm just going to grab my phone and we'll do that now. All right, I've got my background noise ready. It's just going to be like a coffee shop ambience, people talking, that type of thing. I've got my noise reduction on my microphone turned off. So let's go ahead and test this. This is a noise reduction test currently turned off for the NearStream microphone. All right, let's listen to that back. This is a noise reduction test currently turned off for the NearStream microphone. Okay, so we're going to double tap. Okay, that changed the RGB, 1 second. All right, so noise reduction is turned on, the light's gone blue. Let's run this test back and see if it makes a difference. This is a NearStream audio test with noise reduction turned on. All right, let's see what it can do. This is a NearStream audio test with noise reduction turned on. A noise reduction test currently turned off for the NearStream microphone. This is a NearStream audio test with noise reduction turned on. So it's definitely improved it a bit, and I'm kind of not surprised it hasn't completely removed it, because typically this kind of AI voice isolation is something you're going to have to pay for if you want it to be really good. As an example, let's again compare it to the AI noise isolation in DaVinci Resolve Studio and see how it compares. So we'll take the first clip that had no noise reduction on, and we'll just put on DaVinci Resolve Studio's AI voice isolation, and I'll just leave it on the maximum setting. Let's see how that sounds. This is a noise reduction test currently turned off for the NearStream microphone. So you can see that makes a really big difference, and normally you can clean this up a little bit further if you play around with the setting, because typically if you max it out, it can kind of make your voice sound like a little bit kind of robot-y sometimes. So we'll lower this and try it again. This is a noise reduction test. So you can see it's still got some of the background noise. Let's pump it up a bit more. This is a noise reduction test. This is a noise reduction test currently turned off for the NearStream microphone. So you can see even with like a paid version, it's not perfect, but it's normally good enough for most recording situations. Like if I'm in my office here doing some work, there's not going to be like crazy background noise. Sometimes I use the AI voice isolation if I'm doing some work outside and there's like a little bit of wind noise. It's normally pretty effective at cleaning up that type of audio. So what are my final thoughts on NearStream's microphone? So I was actually quite impressed with the AI voice isolation. It did really good at removing that annoying background hiss and hum that pretty much all microphones I've used have. And it's a free feature that's in the microphone. You don't have to pay any extra for it. And while it didn't remove the background noise that I played from my phone, which didn't really surprise me, because typically to have that level of AI voice isolation, you're going to need to pay for that. And you'll see even in my DaVinci Resolve Studio, while it did a great job, it's still not perfect. But the fact that this cleans up a problem that most condenser microphones that you buy have on the kind of budget end of the market, just by simply turning on the voice reduction, the noise reduction, sorry, that's normally something you would have to pay for and you don't really see in budget microphones. So that definitely gives it a bit more value, and you can justify that kind of slightly higher price that this product has. So in that sense, I was quite impressed with it, because as I say, you'd normally have to pay for a feature like that. So if you are thinking of picking up this microphone, I think it does have a pretty decent user experience, and while the microphone quality didn't blow me away, it's definitely good enough to use in most situations like streaming or just doing some YouTube videos like I'm doing here. So for the average user, I think this is really good, and the added noise reduction does really give it that little bit extra value, and it does have a nice design too. It looks kind of more like a high-end microphone, so it does have a nice design and finish to it as well. It doesn't look, cheap and tacky. So yeah, I would say if you come to the end of this video and you like the look of this product and think it performs decently well, I don't have any problems recommending it to you. I think it's decent value for money. There probably are some slightly better options out there, but still I feel this is a pretty decent product. I really hope you enjoyed the video, guys. If you did, please leave a thumbs up. If you're new here, please consider subscribing for more videos like this one. And of course, I will see you in the next one.